Hi everyone, this video will be for swatches and application of a new line of products from Maybelline. These are the Cheek Heat Sheer Gel Cream Blushes. They are available in 6 shades, so if you want to see what the colors look like, how they apply, what the consistency is, etc., then this is the video for you. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel by hitting that red subscribe button. Follow Allura Beauty on Instagram. And if you didn't see the latest video, that was a fun demonstration video of bath fizzers from Makeup Revolution. I will link that in the upper right hand corner for you to check out. And we will also be doing an application and review video for Maybelline's new Dream Radiant Liquid Foundation. So if that's something that you've been interested, then make sure you stay tuned. All right, let's get looking at Maybelline's brand new Cheek Heat Sheer Gel Cream Blushes. So this is a line of products that's currently only reliably available through Amazon. I will make sure to put a link in the description box below to where you can find them. Unfortunately, Amazon doesn't have a great organization when it comes to the makeup section where you can easily find new products. So I will make sure to put a direct link in the description box below so that if you are interested in purchasing them, you can find that easily, as well as a link to Ebates so that if you do want to get cash back on online shopping, you can do so through a program like Ebates. So the description by Maybelline says, warm up your cheeks with our new Cheek Heat Gel Cream Blush. Create a sheer flush of color instantly with this oil-free, water-based formula that glides onto the skin, leaving behind a soft, natural-looking dewy finish. It's infused with soft, colorful pigments for a buildable blush that you can tone up or down for a natural flushed effect. Simply layer it for the blush look you love. Available in 6 new shades and tubes. It says that a little goes a long way, and to just add more product if you want a more pigmented, flushed look. So the things that we will be checking for are the gel cream blush formula, whether the formula is buildable and natural looking, and of course what the shades look like. I will also be looking at how easy they are to blend, whether you get any patchiness, especially with the layering. So in terms of the price on Amazon, these are only $5.99 each. And as we said, they come in 6 shades. There is plastic tube packaging. Each tube is opaque and reflects roughly the shade that's inside. The caps twist off, and initially you get them sealed. So here's shade 10, Rose Brulee, 15, Nude Burn, not a very flattering name, 20 is Rose Flush, 25 is Fuchsia Spark, 30 is Coral Ember, and 35 is Berry Flame. And in terms of amount of product, you get 8 milliliters or 0.27 fluid ounces in each tube. So we're gonna start with a couple dabs. It says to start with 1 or 2 drops. So starting with Pink Scorch, shade number 10. I'm gonna start with that soft flush that they talk about. 15 is Nude Burn. $20 is Rose Flush. $25 is Fuchsia Spark. This one's kind of spilling out of the tube already. Gotta be a little careful. A little more to my finger hair. $30 is Coral Ember. That one is pretty sheer. And 35 is Berry Flame. Okay, so I'm intentionally trying to keep these pretty sheer in case you want a really sheer flush of color. So there are your shades up close. I just realized I haven't been giving you shade descriptions, so I'm gonna layer these up and give you shade descriptions as we go along. So going back and layering, we've got Pink Scorch. This one's a really bright medium, slightly berry toned pink. It's pretty much like a pale fuchsia. And I only say pale, meaning once it's blended into the skin, it's kind of a lighter fuchsia. Although now that we're layering it up, maybe not so pale. 15 is Nude Burn, and this one is a rosy mauve. See, I feel like there's a little bit of patchiness that's developing as you try to layer this shade. One is Rose Flush. And this one is out of the tube more just like a pinky rose shade. On the skin, I feel like once it's on there, it has definitely a peachy pink tone. $25 Fuchsia Spark. Which is, again, I feel like a rosy fuchsia color once it's on the skin. 30, which is Coral Ember. This is quite a soft peach shade. I feel like this one is pretty patchy too. Like in the middle here, it's the color is lifting instead of layering. 35, Berry Flame. All right, there's a couple layers for each shade. You can see some of them stay more smooth than other colors through the layering process. And I'm trying to use a mix between a swiping, blending, and a dabbing motion. Let's go through one more round of layering. I'm going to try to layer up the intensity with these. So that's 10, 15. I'm not blending these in as much. We're just really patting and layering. But you see, it's a bit difficult to make sure it doesn't lift up the lower layer. 20. And 25. $30 and $35. Oh yeah, this shade is the worst of the bunch in terms of not being able to layer them in a smooth manner. Number 30. All right, so once again, there are your 6 shades. I'll let you judge for yourself what you think of the texture and finish after trying to do some layering on these colors. Now, of course, you could also try using these on the lips. I'll probably do that in the demonstration. Use one of the shades on the lips to see how it functions that way. These do have kind of like a dewy or glowy finish to them. In fact, when you look up close, they each do seem to have a subtle sheen and shimmer inside the color. But I do worry with a formula like this, how they will apply, how easy they will be to use. So let's go ahead and do a little bit of experimenting and try a couple of the shades on. Oh, and before we do that, you do see that some of these, I'm halfway through removing them, some of these do have a bit of staining on my fingers. Of course, this is after layering over and over and over again several different shades, but some of them may leave behind just a little bit of a stain if you apply them to bare skin or even on the lips. So as you can see in this video, the first color that I applied to the right side of my cheek was shade number 25. That's Fuchsia Spark. I wanted to try one of the brighter, deeper shades. And by the way, I am applying this on top of the new Maybelline Dream Radiant Liquid Foundation. I think you can see pretty quickly, I first tried dabbing it on with my fingers and it's just so splotchy. You can't really get a smooth finish. And so I tried that for a layer or two. And then I switched over to using a dual fibered brush to apply, and I think that helped a little bit, but it's still pretty splotchy. It just doesn't look even or smooth on the skin, and I frankly don't think it's worth the effort that it would take even if you could get it to look really smooth. Then on the left side of my face, the first color that I tried was applying shade 30 Coral Ember, and ironically with that one, it didn't really look splotchy on the skin, but that was mostly because you couldn't see the color. And I'm someone who has light skin. I wouldn't say I'm quite fair skinned, but I'm definitely on the very light side of the spectrum of, you know, the spectrum of possible depths of skin colors. And for this shade to virtually be invisible on my skin says a lot. So I think that this shade would not show up on anyone unless you were the absolute fairest of the fair. So I did try to layer it a couple of times using the dual fiber brush, but it just didn't show up. So then I resorted to going to shade number 15, which is Nude Burn, and I applied that onto the cheeks, and I just went straight away with the dual fiber brush. I didn't try it with my fingers. And once again, you can definitely layer the color. That part of the claims is true, that you can build up the intensity of the pigmentation, but you do not get a smooth finish. It still looks splotchy. And in particular, when I was adding the second or third layer, I noticed that on the highest point of my cheekbone, the color actually lifted. So there was kind of like a blank space there where color really wouldn't stick to the skin. So at the end of the day, I can't say that I would rate this new product from Maybelline highly. They look really cool, and I think it's a nice idea when companies try gel cheek products, especially for the summertime and the springtime, but realistically, they're just difficult to work with, and this formula in particular I do not think is great, mostly because it's splotchy and it takes a lot of effort to make even look acceptable on the skin. Oh, and I did try using one of the shades, shade 10, on my lips, and honestly that seems to be pretty much the only acceptable good way to use this formula. It does feel like a gel on the lips and gives them a little bit of moisturization and feels comfortable, and you can actually get the color to look pretty even on the lips. You just get a light flush of color, a very light staining maybe, nothing that's going to be super long lasting, but definitely a lot easier to use that way. So overall, those are my thoughts on this new product by Maybelline. Please let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you have been using these and have found a way to make them really easy to use and look really smooth on the skin, I'm more than happy to see how other people are applying these and try those different ways. Of course, please feel free to share any other thoughts that you have in the comments section below. I hope this video was helpful to you, especially if you were eyeing these. As always, thank you so much for taking the time to watch, and I'll see you in the next video.